Could the assassination of Alexei Navalny have been prevented, or was it an inevitable consequence of his political activism? Let's delve into this provocative question. Alexei Navalny was not just a name, but a symbol of resistance against corruption in Russia. His political activism, his fight against graft, made him a beacon for many but also painted a target on his back. But could this tragic end have been circumvented, or was it the destined result of his daring crusade? Stay tuned as we unravel the dark truth behind Alexei Navalny's assassination. To understand the circumstances surrounding Navalny's assassination, we first need to understand who he was and how he rose to prominence. Alexei Navalny, a name that has become synonymous with political opposition in Russia, began his journey in a seemingly ordinary manner. Born in 1976 in Bhutan, a small Russian town, Navalny was raised in a typical Soviet-style family. His early life, while humble, laid the foundation for a character of resilience and tenacity. As he grew, Navalny's interest in law and politics blossomed. He earned a law degree from Russian State Law Academy and soon after, in the early 2000s, began to dabble in politics. Despite the rigid political landscape of Russia, Navalny was not one to shy away from challenging the status quo. His political career took a significant turn when he started blogging about alleged corruption in Russian politics in 2008. Navalny's blogs, which meticulously dissected the nefarious dealings of the political elite, quickly gained traction among the Russian populace. His sharp wit, backed by irrefutable evidence, made him a beacon of truth in a sea of disinformation. In 2011, Navalny launched the Anti-Corruption Foundation, an organization that sought to expose and combat corruption within Russia's political and corporate landscape. This move catapulted him into the national spotlight, establishing him as a prominent opposition figure. His tireless crusade against corruption, however, did not go unnoticed by the powers that be. Navalny's uncompromising stance made him a thorn in the side of the political establishment, a threat that could not be ignored. He was arrested numerous times, faced countless legal battles, and even endured a near-fatal poisoning. Yet, his resolve remained unbroken. His charisma, conviction, and courage endeared him to millions, making him a symbol of resistance against an oppressive regime. But with great influence comes great risk. As Navalny's influence grew, so did the dangers he faced. The day was August 20th, 2024, a day that would forever change the political landscape of Russia. In the weeks leading up to that fateful day, the political climate in Russia was charged with tension. Alexei Navalny, the outspoken critic of the Kremlin, had been garnering considerable support. His crusade against corruption, his boldness in challenging the status quo, and his magnetic charisma were shaking up the political landscape. On that August afternoon, Navalny was returning from a campaign rally. The atmosphere was electric, the crowd still buzzing from his powerful speech. However, the jubilation would soon be replaced with shock and despair. As Navalny was making his way through the throng of supporters, tragedy struck. An unidentified assailant emerged from the crowd, and in the blink of an eye, the unthinkable happened. Navalny was attacked. We won't delve into the graphic details of the incident. Suffice to say, it was a moment that caught the world off guard. The news spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves across the globe. A beacon of hope and change, silenced in a brutal act of violence. In the immediate aftermath, the world stood still. The streets, just moments ago filled with cheers and applause, were now filled with gasps and tears. The supporters who had been chanting Navalny's name in unison now stood in stunned silence. The assassination of Alexei Navalny wasn't just a local tragedy, it was a global catastrophe. It sent a chilling message to the world that political dissent, the very cornerstone of democracy, was under attack. It wasn't just Navalny who had been silenced that day, but the voice of every individual who dared to challenge the powers that be. Navalny's assassination was not just an attack on him, but an attack on political dissent itself. In the wake of Navalny's assassination, the world watched in shock and disbelief. The tremors of this event reverberated far beyond the borders of Russia, stirring up a whirlwind of reactions across the globe. Leaders, diplomats, and citizens alike expressed their outrage and sorrow, questioning the state of democracy, not only in Russia, but in the world as a whole. Inside Russia, the political landscape was forever altered. Navalny's voice had been a beacon of opposition, a rallying cry for those who sought change. His sudden departure created a vacuum, leaving many wondering who could fill the void. Yet amid the uncertainty, a new determination was ignited. The opposition movements, though rocked by the loss, found fresh resolve. They vowed to uphold Navalny's vision, to continue his fight for transparency, for justice, for a better Russia. The aftermath of the assassination also brought with it a demand for justice. Calls for a thorough and transparent investigation echoed around the world. Yet these calls seemed to fall on deaf ears. The lack of significant progress in the investigation raised eyebrows and suspicions. The absence of concrete answers only fueled the fire of speculation, adding to the mystery and controversy surrounding Navalny's untimely demise. The world may have lost a powerful voice, but the echoes of Navalny's words, his ideals, and his courage continue to reverberate. His assassination may have been an attempt to silence opposition, but his legacy has only amplified the call for change. In the face of adversity, Navalny's spirit remains undeterred. His story, his fight, his sacrifice continue to inspire millions. His name has become a symbol, a reminder of the power of conviction and the price of truth. His life may have ended, but his impact is far from over. While Navalny may be gone, his legacy continues to inspire political activism. But what is the dark truth behind Navalny's assassination? As we peel back the layers of this tragic event, we find ourselves navigating a labyrinth of conspiracy theories and verified facts that suggest a sinister plot. Let's delve into this murky realm where truth and deception intertwine. One theory that has gained significant traction revolves around the alleged involvement of the Russian government. Navalny was, after all, a vocal critic of the administration, a thorn in their side, persistently exposing corruption at the highest levels of power. His assassination, some argue, conveniently silenced one of the government's most formidable adversaries. This theory is underpinned by a series of suspicious circumstances surrounding Navalny's death. The unexplained delays in medical intervention, the lack of transparency in the investigation, and the suppression of Navalny's followers in the aftermath of his assassination, all fuel speculation of a state-sanctioned plot. But beyond the realm of theories, we must also grapple with the verified facts. Forensic reports confirm the presence of a lethal military-grade nerve agent in Navalny's system. This chilling fact alone raises disturbing questions about who had access to such a deadly weapon and the audacity to deploy it. The implications of these theories and facts extend far beyond Navalny's personal fate. They underscore the perilous landscape for political dissent in Russia, and indeed around the world. If these theories hold any truth, it paints a grim picture of a world where challenging authority can cost you your life. It's important to remember, though, that these are theories. They provide a lens through which to view the event, but they are not definitive proof. They should provoke thought, inspire questions, and drive us to seek the truth. Navalny's assassination serves as a stark reminder of the dangers faced by those who dare to challenge the status quo. This is not just about one man's life cut short, but a sobering wake-up call about the lengths to which some powers will go to silence dissent, and that, my friends, is a dark truth we cannot afford to ignore. In today's in-depth analysis, we've taken a closer look at the life and tragic death of Alexei Navalny. We've seen his rise from an ordinary citizen to a political maverick, fearlessly challenging the status quo. We've delved into the chilling details of his assassination, an event that sent shockwaves around the world. We've also explored the aftermath, the waves of protests, and the international outcry that followed. In the face of adversity, we saw people's resilience, their unyielding demand for justice, and their unwavering commitment to uphold the values that Navalny stood for. And then we unearthed the dark truth, the murky details surrounding his assassination, the unanswered questions, the hidden agendas. It was a stark reminder of the lengths some entities will go to suppress dissent, to maintain power. But let's not forget the impact of Navalny's work. His relentless pursuit of transparency and accountability in political circles, his courage in the face of adversity, these are the legacies he leaves behind. His death is not just a loss for his family and friends, but for all those who believe in a just and transparent political system. As we wrap up our analysis, it's important to remember that the quest for truth does not end here. It's an ongoing journey, one that requires constant vigilance, questioning, and the courage to challenge the status quo. As we continue to question and seek the truth, we honor the memory of Alexei Navalny and all those who fight for political transparency and justice.